$20K in MMA. Bad Lab joined our free MMA show the day of the event to lay out all of the best plays. Our guests have been killing it lately, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our free shows. If you are not already a Run Pure Sports member, now is the best time to join. We partnered with SaberSim to offer a huge package deal where you can get access to all of Run Pure Sports content, along with SaberSim's industry-leading optimizer and projection system. All you have to do is simply use promo code SABER15. This will knock 15% off our already low combo price for the life of the subscription and save you even more money. That comes out to be just under $130 a month for the RPS and SaberSim combo. Or you can add in our bet side and bump it to just $140 a month. That's an incredible value, which would normally cost $190 a month with separate subscriptions. But act now, because this deal expires on Thursday. So what are you waiting for? Join today and let's run pure.
What is up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. 11-game slate. The injury list it goes on forever, it seems. That's kind of how the NBA is going to be this year. But hey, gives us an extra edge. DC, I know you tweeted about it a couple days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. Hot take, but you think it's more fun with this injury news. I like it for the NBA. I mean, the edge is there. People want to shut down their laptops at 7 Eastern. Something we have to deal with it, whether you like it or not. Joined by DC, joined by AP. AP, I'm going to go over to you first, though. I don't think everyone saw your Twitter, but you were talking about a playground was going to fall down. And if it didn't, a $555 ticket was going to be given out. Give the people the update.
Yeah, so we got these crazy storms passing through here. And if you live in the Midwest, I mean, I think we got lucky. They weren't – I mean, the winds were just crazy. But, at the airport here in town, they had a gust of 105 mile an hour. So I think my area was right around 70, 80. And right before the show, I went and looked and, my neighbor, I make fun of him because he's got this plastic little, play set up there. And I thought it was just going to get destroyed. And no, it didn't. I swear, though, before the bulk of the storm hit, I see this guy out there, additionally anchoring it down. So everyone got lucky. We're going to give out a 555 ticket. And people were asking, well, what should we do, for the ticket? You know what? We're just going to keep our eye out for the OGs, people that are in here all the time, grinding, sending positive vibes, not tilting. And 20 minutes or so, randomly, when it's my turn, I'll just pick someone. So that's how we're going to do it today.
Rookie mistake on you. I like it, AP. Good mojo. The people appreciate it. Hey, just be in chat. Just be normal. Just be how you guys always are. We appreciate it. AP bringing the good mojo for the people. What's going on, everybody? DC, though, going to throw it to you first. Who was it? Our boy Jeremy Douglas in chat. He goes, big title, my big bro AP. And he said, young DC. I haven't heard of young and DC in the same sentence in a little while. But young DC, how's your Wednesday going?
Yeah, I wish I was young DC, but no longer. But things are good. I always look forward to Wednesdays with you guys. Big slates. Coming off a really good night of NBA DFS for myself, and I know a lot of the members. So, yeah, things are good. And, I'm happy AP was able to make it, survived COVID, survived the wins, and he's here to talk some hoops with us. So you love to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Always fun hopping on this Wednesday show. Always a big slate, 11 games today.
Title, real quick, on the code, I'm telling you, NBA tonight, tomorrow, Friday, through the weekend, I think it's going to be crazy. I think whatever's going around is really contagious. And I don't think the vaccine, maybe, I don't want to get into that, but it's this new thing that's going around obviously is different, but luckily go ahead, DC.
Did they tell you what variant you got, AP? Did you have
No, I did a home test and I just stayed home. I quarantined we tested my wife, my kids. They were good to go. I've been chilling in the basement. And it's awesome. I've just been watching sports, watching shows. I feel like I'm back in I feel like I'm titled again, downstairs in the basement, hanging out till 2 a.m, watching shows. I haven't been drinking, though. I'll tell you that. It's been well over a week since I've had a little bourbon. So Probably not tonight or tomorrow, but I'm getting closer.
That was the same thing for me when I had it. I was like, all right, no alcohol. When I've got the go. We'll take good time to take a few days off, right? Just, kill two birds with one stone there.
Little tea break from the alcohol when you get COVID. You can make an exception for that. Appreciate you guys all hanging out in the chat. AP, I mean, when people hear a ticket giveaway, that chat just absolutely went crazy. I mean, I couldn't keep up with all the names. So appreciate you guys hanging out. You do need to hit the like button to get the ticket. Obviously, we won't know for sure if you hit it, but do us a favor, hit the like and subscribe button for us. We appreciate it. And if you haven't used the code and want to be a member, Saber15 gets you 15% off our new deal with SaberSim. If you haven't checked it out, I don't know what you're doing. Very good for 20 entry max, for 150 max. And if you haven't MME'd before and you want to give it a try, there's not just the $15 and the $20 contest to max out. There's these quarter arcades, this 50-cent one. Sometimes there's even 5-cent ones on FanDuel. So it fits all bankroll. Saber15, very good tool. Shout out to SaberSim for the partnership. Saber15 gets you 15% off. Members never win segment. $2.2 million was won last week. Multiple different sports. Swint won $20,000 in MMA. Slick Derulo, $20,000 in NBA. Sweet Boy, $58,000 in NBA. I've said Sweet Boy's name, I think, multiple times the past couple of weeks. Absolutely been killing it. He had a 6-figure win going into the last game last night. So did Big T. Big T was atop the $15 for a while, got passed in the last game, but $58,000, congrats to you. The Man 11, $100,000. And then Bobby Gomes got a live final seat. They're running that this weekend. I know Big T's in there, Bobby Gomes, maybe a couple members too. So good luck to all of you guys. Congrats for getting in. It's a big 11-game slate, boys. I say we dive right into it. What do you think?
Get into it.
Dive right into it. Sir. All right. First game of the night, the Houston Rockets, the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs are favored by 9.5. We have a 217.5 total. And we have news in this game like we have news pretty much in every game. Christian Wood is doubtful. KPJ is out. Eric Gordon out. Jalen Green out. Daniel House out. Cavaliers are pretty healthy on the other side, but that's a lot of Rockets that aren't playing. Guys like KJ Martin, Deshaun Tate, Sengun. I think all those guys make a little bit of sense. Going to you first, AP, talk about this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just due to limited bodies here on the Rockets side, there's going to be potential plays over here. And I mean, this team is playing with a lot of heart right now. A lot of that last game was Eric Gordon. He had probably the game of his life, like hitting crazy shots to keep them in it and then ultimately to get the win. It was a very impressive performance. I think for that to happen tonight, it has to be Jason Tate. This is a guy that has shown that he can carry this team at times. So I think and then the other side of this is like the Cavs are so good. I mean, absolutely so good. If Evan Mobley doesn't play, it's a little hit. I mean, just how good they are defensively. They limit drives to the paint. I think, Title, that was something you or DC were saying yesterday. I mean, they just limit so much these driving point guards can do with the length that they have there in the paint. So, I mean, one of two things. One, Cavs have been blowing some teams out. There's a potential for a blowout here. So you could play that narrative and you could play maybe like a Kevin Love, Ricky Rubio script. I still think there's risk in doing that. Or you play the Houston side and you play some of these guys where like a Jason Tate. If this game stays close, I'm very convinced he's got to be the guy to get it done. Sengun, he's going to have a role. His role is going to be, I think, pretty similar no matter what happens. I don't think he's played 30 minutes anytime this season. This is a spot where if he was ever going to play 30 minutes, it would be tonight. But I still think they might keep him around like that 24 to 28 minute mark. He's been a very good producer, so I do think he's in play. But your higher upside guys, Jason Tate, definitely one of those guys. I also kind of like KJ Martin off the bench here. I think he'll benefit no matter what happens. He's 3.6K, and I'm looking at ownership projections. It looks like he's not going to be sneaky. I was hoping he'd be a little bit sneaky, but looks not to be the case there. So KJ Martin, Sengun, Jason Tate, some of the key guys I like on the Rockets side. And then, Cavs side, I think is a little bit risky, but In tournaments, maybe a little Kevin Love, a little Rubio, if you want to go that route.
Yeah, Mobley is questionable too on this Cavs side. So if he's out, I think Kevin Love would probably slide in to start. I'd have some more interest, more usage to go around. This Houston side, though, yeah, KJ Martin, Sengun, Jayshawn Tate, 5'8". I mean, all their prices are so good with their top guys out. Even this Josh Christopher guy, he's played over 20 minutes, 3 of his past 4 games. He's 3.1K. We have like Jokic and stuff on the slate and spends you can spend on. So DC, I saw on Discord you hit a little alt line in this game too. Talk about the people if you want to give a freebie away, and then talk about what you're doing for this game.
Yeah, but Cavs, I think you said the line's 9.5. I hit it minus 18.5 plus 250 for the Cavs. I think they're going to throttle the Rockets here, honestly. I know the Rockets have been playing better, but I just think this is a horrible, horrible matchup with how the Rockets play and how the Cavs play, right? Rockets are up and down the court, sloppy basketball, allow, blocks and steals, turn the ball over. And the Cavs, like, this is a team that obviously, they're a defense first team. They pride themselves on their defense. They've got probably everybody healthy if Mobley goes, but if not, they've played without him recently. And to me, it's like when you get the Rockets style of play, it's like running into a trap, right? Defensively for Cleveland, who knows exactly where their teammates are going to be. And they just they're a team that hasn't figured out right now. The Rockets are going to be all over the place. I know the guys are really cheap. So some of them kind of got to get there, I think, because, they're still going to score probably minimum of 80 points usually. So I don't know. I think like guys like Sengun, I mean, how popular is he going to be, Title? You're the cash game guy. Is he going to be in your cash game lineup?
He's better price on FanDuel. He's definitely going to have more ownership on FanDuel, but he's not a priority on DraftKings, how I'm seeing it, but he's definitely going to have some ownership. I mean, they just don't have bodies, and I think he's going to play uppers 20s minutes is what I'm thinking. But blow it proof.
20 minutes in a very, very tough matchup. I mean, I don't think he's some lock for 25 plus fantasy points, which I think you're going to need on this slate for a $4,500 player. So in tournaments, if he's going to be super popular, I don't really want to go there. The guy I'm looking at is Josh Christopher off the bench. Like AP said, has been playing 20 plus minutes. He's their first round pick. It looks like he can ball a little bit. He's got some skills, and I think he's a near certainty to be out there in garbage time, which is where I personally expect this game to end up. So I think Christopher, I wish the matchup was better, but I think he'll be out there 25 plus minutes in this game, or at least has a chance at it. 3,100. Could be running the offense at the end of the game and racking up fantasy points. So he's the kind of the tournament option I'm looking at, but I'm weary of Houston in general. And then I do like some of the Cavs guys. I mean, the Rockets give out the most fantasy points of any team by far on the league or on the season. So, I mean, I think Garland could easily put up 50 plus here. He's at 50 plus in 3 of his last 8 games. He will be unowned at 7,900. Rubio's 5K. I mean, Love is cheap. And I think the Cavs are going to play really, really well. So, people are going to go to the Houston side. Give me the team that I think is going to dominate this game, which is Cleveland. And I'll play some of these low-owned Cleveland guys for sure.
I was actually tweaking. Sengun's 4,500 on DraftKings, 5,400 on FanDuel. I thought it was different. He's going to be one of the most popular in DraftKings. He's going to be owned on FanDuel. He's going to be owned on Yahoo too. So I got the pricing messed up. He's going to be owned everywhere though. This Rockets team in general, you can't just fully ignore it. They do play at 7 p.m. Eastern, but when their top 3 players are out, you're going to have to get some ownership. So just wanted to correct myself on that. Got to get some exposure. Houston side, definitely more exposure than the other side. Keep an eye on the Mobley news, though. Up to Lock show is going to be really important today. We're going to get through all this, but news is going to be hitting left and right. Up to Lock with JSU and Holden. Not a member to check that out. Saber 15 will get you that. Make sure you follow in and tune into that show. Next game on the slate, we got the Atlanta Hawks, the Orlando Magic. The Hawks are favored by 8, 223.5 total. On the Magic side, Jalen Suggs is out. Mo Bamba is questionable. If Bamba's out, Wendell Carter, Okiki maybe, they get a little bumps. And then on the other side, Atlanta, Solomon Hill and Bogdanovich are out. I'll go back to you, DC. I'm not seeing too much in this game. Maybe a Cam Reddish, a Terrence Ross, but It's an 11-game slate. Do we really want to do that on this slate? What are you seeing?
Likely not, given that this is one of the early games and they're with the COVID stuff. I mean, we could have 10. We could have a whole half a team scratched after lock, right? That opens up value. So
Mo Bamba out just a minute ago. Mo Bamba out. Thank you for Drew Carpenter in chat. So does that do anything in this game? It's confirmed.
I mean, Wendell Carter obviously is kind of the guy that I would give the biggest bump to without looking at the numbers, but he's 7,500 on DraftKings, and I don't, I expect Atlanta to kind of control this game. I don't think I'm going to be paying that price for Wendell Carter Jr. Seems just too risky on this particular slate to pay up that much for him, in my opinion. So for me, probably just Trae Young. I mean, Trae Young is going to crush. He's just been absolutely on fire. Magic defense is bad, and Young does really well in these games that the Hawks kind of play well in, right? The Hawks go as Trae Young goes, and then a game that they're probably going to win, it's probably going to be a lot of Trae Young having to do with it. So I think he's a good play. Probably be pretty low owned compared to some of the other studs maybe on the slate, but yeah, I don't see myself having too much exposure to this one.
Yeah, I think Trae Young's going to come in pretty under-owned. Been playing very good basketball for sure as of late. Price is rising because of that. AP, we just got this Bamba news. Not a lot of time to digest it and see what it's doing for you. But any initial thoughts? Wendell Carter's priced up. He's at 7.5. Franz Wagner's 6.3. So it's not like these Orlando Magic guys are free like they have been in the past. What are you seeing in this game?
Yeah, I mean, first off, this just already reiterates our point that we initially made, in that if you can't monitor this news, take the night off or really, move down in stakes. I'm just telling you, or else you're going to tilt and it's not going to be fun. If you can monitor the news, if you can hang out in Discord and not tilt, and please not tilt, we can find an edge for sure. Because you're going to have scenarios where guys just get ruled out. I just saw Marvin Bagley also entered health protocols. I know their coach too is going to be out tonight. So I mean, that's another developing situation, that could continue as the night goes on. So I had no interest in the Orlando side if Mo Bamba was playing, but Wendell Carter, he's been a beast in these spots. I don't think it's the easiest matchup against Capella and John Collins down there, but Wendell Carter, I mean, 7.5, I still think he's going to have lower ownership. Might be a guy that I'm going to have in my player pool for MMEing, but I don't think I'll be tagging him as a core player or anything. And Cole Anthony, I mean, man, he had that stretch where he just was phenomenal. I wanted to start playing him and I wasn't playing him when he was absolutely crushing. So I don't want to be a donkey and just get on and start playing him during the stretch where he's been struggling or not producing the amount that he was, even though a matchup against Trae Young, if they put Trae Young on him, I don't know why they would. They should put Trae Young on Gary Harris or something, a guy that can't shoot the basketball. But maybe he gets going. I don't think I'm going to get there though. Terrence Ross off the bench has been okay. But man, anytime anytime that guy's starting to pop and I get tempted to play him, I'm like, nah, I'm going to adjust this ownership down a little bit because he can be so hurtful. So yeah, for me, I'm not too high on this game. Trae Young, 10-7. I don't want to pay that for Trae Young. So I'll probably be lower on this game.
Terrence Ross is the perfect guy. You think you can get away with playing him one time. You need the savings. And then he shoots 1 for 12 from 1 for 12 from the field. He gets you 7.25. You're just nah, not till next year again, Terrence Ross.
I played him once this year. He had 2 for me, or maybe 1.5 at halftime. I look later though, and he's got 35. If that's not a Terrence Ross game, I mean, he'll chuck it. Sometimes they'll fall, sometimes they won't. Last name for either two, Jay Barton in chat. He said Chumo Okiki, anyone? It's 3.2K. Again, I'll probably say, don't think this is a slate you need it. Don't think you need to lock yourself in that early, but 3-2, anyone? Chumo Okiki?
I'm not taking these marginal plays in the first couple games, not tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm with DC. Locked arm in arm. I agree.
Agree for sure. Let's get into the next game. Appreciate you guys all hanging out and chat with us. Hit the like button. Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers. Philly is favored by 7. Very low total at 204.5. I mean, we're talking about injury news. This game's got a bunch of it. Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler Hero are all out. Caleb Martin and Markieff Morris are out as well. Then on the Philly side, George Niang is out. And then Embiid, Seth Curry, and Furkan Korkmaz are all questionable. DC, I'll go to you. You can talk about this game.
The injury list tonight. It's
you
just
can't do it.
ridiculous.
You can't do anything talking about this game really without this news. But like, do your best.
Talk about the Miami side.
Miami side, yeah.
Yeah, we know who they have left, and it's not a whole lot. I think this game becomes potentially very interesting if Joel Embiid ends up sitting, which I think is he sat last night, late scratch. That was last night, I think.
They pulled someone up too. I saw they recalled someone.
Yeah, Paul Reed is back on the roster, so I think there's a decent chance Embiid ends up sitting. If Curry and Korkmaz join him, we're going to see kind of an all hands on deck situation for the Philadelphia side. We already kind of have that for Miami, right? Missing 3 of their very best players in Bam, Jimmy, and Hero, and then other guys too. I mean, if Miami's going to win this game or compete, I mean, Kyle Lowry's got to have, I think, a huge game. I really like Gabe Vincent, who they're just really, really lacking in playmakers. They don't have much left with all these guys out. So I think Vincent is one of the few guys that can do it. He's been solid recently, but I think he's going to have to do even more here with Hero out. And then if Embiid sits, the Philly defense gets a lot worse. And you could look at guys like Tobias Harris, I think, are interesting. I think Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, all come into play as well. So potentially I think a tasty game stack here with a lot of guys in play. But you kind of need Embiid out, I think, for that to come to fruition. But I do like Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent in particular, regardless, for Miami. Haven't mentioned PJ Tucker yet, who has had 3 monster games in a row. Interested to get your guys' take on him, because I don't think I'm going to be buying in. I haven't played him yet. And I think I'll go elsewhere with Miami. I'll go to a guy like Kyle Lowry and Vincent. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on PJ Tucker, because he's been smashing. There's no doubt about it.
We talked about him at length on Monday on the show, because I was like, PJ Tucker, like, look what he's done the past 2 games. The peripheral stats, you definitely get a bump. No Bam and Jimmy. They need him to rebound more. It makes sense. But I did not expect. I mean, he had a 16% usage rate 3 games ago, 10% the last game, but he had a 22% usage rate last game. I don't think I've ever seen PJ Tucker have a 20+% usage rate. If you're telling me he does that, of course I'm going to want to play the man. He's going to get some rebounds. He's going to get some assists. He's 5.3K. He's going to play all the minutes. I just think, like, I would much rather play Max Struss at 3.1K, who's just, is going to chuck it. Duncan Robinson, Lowry, Vincent. I'm not going to completely buy in on this PJ Tucker. I can't play him at 5-3 on 11-game slate, but I mean, we talked about it Monday. He continued to smash. I wouldn't hate it, but I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to go to AP here, obviously, in a second. But I mean, if Embiid is out, Drummond at 4.7K on DraftKings becomes like a near lock. And then actually, the Heat centers, I think, are a little bit interesting and for GPPs because if Embiid plays, they're going to need all the size they can get down there. So obviously going to start with Dedmon, who has been, kind of mostly disappointing, but like I think has upside to play a bunch of minutes and perform well, because they're just going to need him. If he's playing well, they're going to keep him out there. And then if he gets in foul trouble against Embiid, I think they'll bring in the backup Yurt7.
Yeah. 3.3K.
Listen, if the Sixers are going to have Embiid and Drummond on the floor at all times, and you get Dedmon in foul trouble, they'll have to go to Yurt7. I think he's going to play probably 15 plus minutes regardless, with a chance for a lot more. He's been fairly productive when on the court. 3.3K unowned. I mean, I think he's a fun GPP play tonight. Maybe crazy, but I kind of like him.
It makes sense. Yeah. AP, so much going on. Talk about this Miami side. If Embiid's out, Drummond's a lock. That price is just silly. You play him. Yeah. If Korkmaz and Seth are out, then there's Milton. I mean, there's so much in this game. How are you approaching it?
Yeah, that was crazy the other night. I think it was the 13th, so a couple nights ago. But I was scrambling, I was down quarantining and stuff, and adjusting the heat map is something I can't do from my phone. And so I was scrambling to get up here to get to my computer, and then I realized it didn't matter because it was after lock. I was trying to change everything. I was trying to make Embiid or make a Drummond elite tag play, and didn't matter. It took me a little while to realize that it didn't matter. But obviously, if Embiid's out, lock in Drummond, going to be an absolute smash play. And then PJ Tucker's interesting. I mean, man, we saw. God, the offense was just running through him against Cleveland, and he looked extremely motivated. It just also seemed like every rebound was like bouncing his way. It seemed like everything was bouncing his way, and it was one of those highly efficient games. If he does it again twice, if he beats me, he beats me. I'm not going to full fade him. I'm going to give him a moderate projection and include him in my MME pool, but I don't think he's a guy that I end up like heavily on or anything. So, and I might not end on any of them, at all, because I don't like playing them. I think I'd much rather play Dedmon at 5-1, coming off a kind of a not so good game there against Cleveland, but this should be a matchup that's a little bit better if Embiid's out. So Dedmon against Drummond. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to lock up 2 center spots there, but I wouldn't be surprised if those two just kind of went at each other. But yeah, I think I'm going to end up being kind of in agreements with DC, though, with Gabe Vincent. One thing that's really interesting is, Gabe's going to start there with Lowry. They're going to bring him out a little early. Then they're going to bring him back when Lowry sits, and he's going to run the second unit. So you're going to have one of those guys on the court at all times. And Kyle Lowry, like the thing about Lowry is he's such like a game manager type player, which can be tilting in DFS. Like if he needs to get going and carry his team, you're going to see him do that. But if his team's playing good, if Duncan Robinson's hitting shots, if Gabe is creating, he's going to let them do that. And it's going to affect him fantasy wise. So I don't think he's like an absolute lock. He's a good play, but I think the guy that's just a lock is Gabe Vincent at 4.5K.
So
go ahead, DC.
One narrative I do like, Kyle Lowry, I believe, is from Philadelphia.
So
good call. And they got, and I mean, he's going to have to carry this team, I think, to some extent. I mean, I get what you're saying, AP, but the more guys that go out, you take Hero out now. Lowry's I think he's going to have to do a lot. He showed it against the Bucks that he's still capable of playing well, even from a fantasy perspective, getting hot from the field and carrying a team. I think he's got a lot of upside playing at home here for a shorthanded squad, especially if Embiid is out. Then I like Miami's chances better to just kind of play well in general. I think the pace could pick up a little bit, but I like Lowry either way. 7K on FanDuel, I think, is a really good price point.
Yeah, he's definitely got to be in play in both. So he can be a frustrating roster. I mean, you can see him on the 20, the 24. He's fine taking a second seat, but without all the guys, I think he knows he's got to be the man. Got to shoot. I mean, he's got to be aggressive. He'll fall into some peripherals. So it's a game you definitely can't ignore. It's a game that could be a very good game stack if Embiid or Korkmaz or some of these other pieces do miss. Next game, we're going to get into 446 watching, 190 likes. Hit the like button for us. Big slate. AP's giving a ticket away. Do us a favor and hit the like button and subscribe button. Saber 15 for 15% off. Los Angeles Lakers, Dallas Mavericks. The Lakers are favored by 2. We have a 213 total. Dwight Howard, Malik Monk, and THT are all out. Anthony Davis is probable. Then on the Dallas side, Luka is still out with Willie Cauley-Stein. Luka's out. Jalen Brunson's the first place that I go to. I think he's another strong play. Outside of him, though, they priced up KP. They priced up some other options. I'm not seeing as much outside of Brunson. AP, I'll go to you. Brunson, anybody else in this game you see?
Yeah, one thing I want to monitor is Jalen Brunson's ownership. So one thing that I'm sure everyone notices is he was 90% owned against the Hornets, which I thought was one of the best spots that he's going to get, especially with Luka out. And, he didn't necessarily get it done. Like he was a cash game lock for sure, but I'm really tracking ownership. If
he only played 25 minutes too. I wasn't. He wasn't in foul trouble, was he? Why did he only play 25?
A blowout was a big factor.
Wow, that's why he played 25.
What's his name? Trey Burke was going off too. So here's my point though. We all know what kind of upside he has, especially I think in a matchup here against the Lakers. It's going to be much closer with the big three. All back. I'm hoping that people move off Brunson. I think the elevated price tag, I think that he's almost turning into more of like a really strong tournament play. Because I think what's going to happen is people are going to see, man, he's just not getting it done. His price is going up. everyone's saying he's elite play, but he's been dusty. And they're not going to look into it and realize what kind of upside he has. So I'm keeping an eye on ownership there because I do think he's a strong play in this matchup tonight. Really curious to see what DC has to say. And, I mean, Kristaps Porzingis is coming off one of the most efficient games that he's had. Really hard-pressed to imagine that he repeats that here against, a much bigger Lakers team. I mean, every big that can shoot the ball has been crushing the Hornets. So he's going to have more of a test, I think, here against Braun and AD. And so my thought is that Porzingis struggles. That's when you get a true Jalen Brunson game, where he's creating and when he's distributing, and we know what he can do. So really interesting game. Lakers, you just fade, easy fade for me. It's Brunson on the other side of this game.
Very good points. Junior and Nazafai agreed to AP. Nice points you brought up. DC, how are you approaching this game? What are you doing with Jalen Brunson?
I don't anticipate having much here. I mean, I confess a little concern about that increase in price, $6,700. I do think AP, if you like him, I'll be surprised if many people end up going to Jalen Brunson. I've been, I was kind of singing his praises and looking forward to playing him when Luke goes out and have played him, frankly, in general. He's been, like you said, not just – he kind of lacks explosiveness, it seems like, which I think limits his upside a little bit. I could actually see him kind of struggling against the far more athletic Russell Westbrook. I don't know, probably reading too much into it, but I am a little shy, shying away from that price tag. If I played him, I think I would play him with Porzingis, right? You get kind of that, those two need to run the offense, get the pick and roll going, that type of thing. So I kind of think those two are positively correlated, but I just don't love this one. Obviously, with the Lakers having all three of their big guys in there, I typically avoid that team when that's the case. Dwight Howard and Malik Monk injuries, it's just going to be a little bit more usage, right, to the main three guys, and not enough, though, still to go around to pay those price tags. So, personally, mostly fading this game.
Yep, I think it's a pretty good fade game, too. Pretty much 3 for 3 there. That was the only game that does lock at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Next game on the slate, the New Orleans Pelicans, Oklahoma City Thunder. Pelicans are favored by 4.5. We have a 211.5 total. And both teams are relatively healthy. I mean, Lou Dort's the only person that's out. That's pretty big news in this game. It's still not a game. I think it's another pretty easy cross-off game, like a Kenrich Williams, if we want to talk about dusty guys still, sub 4K. He's played 20 minutes in 3 of the last 4 games. There's no Lou Dort there. Darius Baisley, I know we were joking about him on the show last time. I remember got a Discord notification from AP saying, look at what our boy Baisley's doing. Is it a Baisley game, AP? What else are you seeing in this game?
Yeah, I mean, man, I still always get a little bit worried about Baisley.
Oh, I'm worried. I remember that was you were talking about on the show, and he had a great first half. He had 5X, I think, at halftime or something.
I'm also I think Kenrich Williams will get the start there, but 3.5K. I mean, I do worry about this Thunder team anytime. They still got so many guys. So my way I've been kind of handling it is a guy like Williams. What's going to happen is he's going to get a little bump in his projections, and so I want to make sure I'm monitoring that and make sure they don't get projected too high. I don't want the opto to be forcing him in. I like Kenrich Williams, but if Giddey's out there, if Shea's out there, I don't like him as much. I'd rather I like him in that role where he's like a point guard. We've seen it over the past 2 years at certain times where he's been forced to run the offense. And was he played for the Pelicans, right? Any of you guys know that on top of your head? Isn't he a guy
yeah, pretty recently too, I want to say.
Yeah, when the Pels were going through that period where they're down
2 years ago, maybe.
People. Yeah, we saw point Kenrich Williams, I believe. So I just
2018 to 2020. Good memory.
All right, very good. So yeah, I'm probably going to be lower on that. Baisley, I think he's fine. I think if anything, the Pelicans side, Joval smash matchup. But man, I want your guys' take on Brandon Ingram. This guy's someone must have talked to him because his game is just different right now than even a week or two ago. I mean, the guy is really been, taking over games, having some monster performances. I'm always hesitant to go there and 9.2K. I'm even more hesitant now. So I'm really curious to see what you guys are doing. To sum it up, I'm not forcing anyone in here because the Pelicans are relatively deep. And then OKC is just constantly tilting you each night. So I'm fine fading it, but curious to see where you guys are at.
Brandon Ingram, I think you saw Zion sitting at 330 and might not be back for a couple more years. And Brandon,
that could be it.
He knows he's got to carry the load. Yeah, I mean, he's playing all the minutes he can handle. He's aggressive. When he's aggressive, he's one of the best scorers in the league. So he'll be very low owned on this slate. He has the potential to break it. I don't hate that call. DC, what are you seeing in this game?
Yeah, I'm in on Ingram. I mean, I've missed the train so far these last 5-6 games, but man, he's been aggressive. He hasn't even shot the ball that well, and he's putting up 50 fantasy points every game. I think a really, really good matchup against the Thunder, a game the Pelicans should win. You know, you kind of expect Ingram to be out there 38, 39 minutes, you know, in most runouts. So I actually think he's a good play. It's going to be super low owned, and you can run it back with another one of my favorite tournament plays today, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is just a kind of a matchup type numbers play. Pelicans, worst pick and roll defense of any team in the entire league. That's what SGA does. He runs pick and roll. He drives to the basket more than anyone else. They've got Joval down there, but he's just he's kind of slow, not the best rim protector in the world. I think Gilgeous-Alexander has big upside in this matchup at home, fast-paced game. I haven't played him much this year, frankly, and especially don't usually like him when guys like Giddey are healthy. But I think a lot of upside. And what's SGA going to be owned? Under 1%. But I think
something
he's
like
got
that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a pretty good shot at 50+ fantasy points here, which you need other things to break your way and other stars maybe to disappoint a little bit, but stranger things have happened. So SGA and Ingram, kind of like the two stars in this game to go back and forth a little bit.
I like, bold contrarian take. I think that makes some sense in tournaments for sure. Starting to get some news. Korkmaz was ruled out a couple of minutes ago. Chuma Okeke is starting for Orlando, like we talked about. Embiid and Seth are still game time decisions. This news is going to be coming in for the next 3-4 hours, even after the slate lock. So make sure you tune into the Up to Lock show. They'll be breaking down the stuff that we aren't able to get. Saber 15% off. Next game on the slate, 8 p.m. Eastern. Indiana Pacers taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Pacers are favored by 2. We have a 217 total. And we have a lot of injury news on this Bucks side for sure. Starting with the Pacers, Justin Holiday's questionable. TJ McConnell's going to be out for a while with his wrist injury. On the Bucks side, though, Middleton's questionable. Giannis is out. Brooks out. Dante was supposed to return today with his ankle. Then, of course, he gets put into health and safety protocols. So big bummer for him. He's going to be out as well, though, not for his ankle injury. Cousins still out. Wesley Matthews, Semi Ojeleye. Giannis and Middleton, obviously the big ones. Giannis out, Middleton questionable. If Middleton plays, I think he's a very strong play. Drew Holiday is a very strong play regardless. Then they got Grayson Allen, who I think is a strong play, can only get stronger if Middleton's out. Mamu, that's what I like to call him. Sandro Mamu, 3K, min price. He's going to have to get some minutes. Bobby Portis, George Hill. It's a typical situation, but we don't really see Middleton and Giannis out too often. This Middleton news is big. DC, going to you. No Giannis regardless, though. What do you see in this game?
Yeah, with Giannis out, obviously, the first thing everybody kind of does is look to Middleton and Drew, and to some extent Bobby Portis, I think, is in that group now too. He's had very big games, just in general, just playing really well for the Bucks, and especially when Giannis is out, they just need his size, his rebounding, his usage goes up. He's a guy who is a fairly versatile scorer, right? So he can kind of get going in a number of different ways with Giannis off the court. If you take Middleton off the court too, then I think Drew, I still wouldn't say he's a lock because it's, 7,500. I don't think he's guaranteed to get you 40+, but he becomes a strong play. Portis gets another bump. At that point, Connaughton, Grayson Allen, like you mentioned, would become in play. Do you have any read on if Middleton might sit, Title?
I got no clue, to be honest. I'm not going to pretend like I do.
Yeah, figured I'd just ask just in case. But yeah, I mean, again, if he's out, then you can play kind of all the Bucks to some extent. I think are pretty good plays. All the guys that are in to get significant minutes anyway. And yeah, I mean the Indiana side, unless they get guys announced out as well, one of the healthier teams going tonight. I probably won't end up going there myself, but we have seen Sabonis really play well these last few games, and if Giannis is out there, it's just not nearly the same defense. So you could see Sabonis maybe having a big game, but I doubt I'll end up there myself.
Yeah, I doubt I get to Indiana side too much. We got Michael in chat saying Sabonis season. Drew Carpenter, he was messing with me on Monday, saying Brissett. He's going back to Brissett. He got there last time for you, Drew. That was a funny call. Good call there. AP, is it Sabonis season? Is it Brissett season? Or is it more of these Bucks season? And then what are you going to do? Middleton in, Middleton out. What does that do for you?
Yeah, first off, with the ticket, I said it would just be super random. I want to go. So let me announce that first, then I'll dive into the game. And look, it's the holiday season. I guarantee you we're going to be very generous with just randomly giving tickets away. So I know our team.
On Twitter, if you check his Twitter.
Oh, is he too?
Yeah, he said if you donate to
the season. Yep. People are going to get hooked up. Good mojos. Someone that so I saw her in chat here, and she's always like, "We'll bring the good mojo." I know post lock and stuff. So Sam, we want to put you in the 555, or I want to put you in the 555 tonight. I don't think you've won a ticket. I tried to go back and look. I asked around because we're trying to get more people involved. It's tough sometimes, but hit me up, send me a message on Discord, and we'll get you in the contest. So congratulations, Sam. Got to run Pier tonight and bring it down. All right, yeah. The Bucks tonight. I was going to lean on what Titletown was going to say about them, but Drew Holiday for me is like, he's just been playing very good. If Middleton's out, I think we just have to go there. I think we have to give Bobby Portis a big consideration. With Middleton though, in these spots, he's like, when has he absolutely crushed us is my one concern. And the Pacers have been a little bit better defensively. So I think what I'm going to plan on doing is just set a projection, maybe a little bit higher than what their actual projection is, because a lot of projection sites will kind of under project or just post an average of the range. And if he hits, he hits, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. I might just commit to that. But I just, the ownership in these spots is just always crazy. So, and I've seen that lately, like in some of these spots where the guys are priced way up, it actually benefits to get some leverage. So I'm not fully decided what I want to do yet. We really need the Middleton news. I feel the most confident though in Drew Holiday.
Title, if Middleton plays, how do you rank Middleton, Drew, and Portis?
If Middleton plays, I'd go Drew, Middleton, Portis, I think, since Bobby's price is up there.
Fair enough.
I really like Drew and his peripheral upside. AP's been right. Middleton just hasn't been Middleton really this year. He hasn't shown that 50-plus point ups. He definitely could do it this game if he plays for sure. But
the times that I've had him just watching them play, it doesn't feel like his, gonna blow up at any point. He's just kind of going in the flow of the offense. That's part of what makes him a great player. But
yeah.
Lots of other guys that can score. Middleton doesn't need to carry the load himself by any means.
Yeah. So he was a doubtful, and then he got upgraded to questionable, and now he's sitting there from what I've seen. So again, I have no clue if he's going to play or not. That's just something to note. Before we get into the next game, AP again, really cool stuff. Congrats to you, Sam. You've been given good mojo. I've recognized the name in Discord. DC recognized the name. Just got to be a good person, good mojo. And then, hey, stuff like this can happen to you. So shout out to you, AP. Very good stuff. Shout out to you, Sam. Good luck tonight. We'll be sweating with you in the Discord. Give us a like. 512 watching, 247. You guys are smashing it. Hit the like button for us, please. We appreciate it. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Charlotte Hornets, San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are favored by 3.5, 227 total. LaMelo Ball is still out. Ish Smith is still out. But that's it for the Hornets. They're finally getting more healthy. On the other side, Lonnie Walker is out. AP, gonna go back to you. What do you see in this game?
Actually, let me get this done real quick. You want to send it over to DC first?
DC, What do you see in this game?
Well, first off, the Charlotte side, they were like the best place in the world for a couple games. Now they're just all too expensive, right? Getting their guys back. They're all priced up because of the big performances that they had when everyone was out. So no Charlotte for me at all. And in San Antonio, it's really just going to be DeJounte Murray or bust. I think that he's another guy that you'll get fairly low owned, maybe higher owned on FanDuel. He's 9,300 compared to 10,300 on DraftKings, but a perfect style game for him, right? Charlotte still getting up and down the court. And that's the type of game where you see Murray, have a shot at triple-double type numbers, contributing defensively as well. So perfect style game for DeJounte Murray, who's been obviously great this season. We have seen Derek White cutting into his numbers maybe a little bit, but I still think Murray's got easy 55, 60-plus fantasy point upside at low ownership. So I think he's another fun tournament play. I think there are a lot of really good tournament plays today, frankly, that are going to go lower owned. I talked about Ingram, Gilgeous-Alexander, DeJounte Murray. Don't be afraid to go off the beaten path a little bit with your studs today, because all these guys have big upside in their matchups.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen DeJounte do it all year, low ownership. He's going to be low owned again. We talk about on these 11-game slates, everyone gravitates to like a Jokic or something like that.
Yeah.
That leaves these other stars with 60-plus point upside low owned. So I think your call is good there. I only really see tournament options in this game. I'm not high on it personally. AP, are you done over there? I doubt you're going to have much in it. So you're done. All right. What do you see in this game?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just, all season, I'm always looking at bigs against this Charlotte team. And that's not going to change with Mason Plumlee out there at all. If anything, it'll make me like a guy like Pirtle even more. 7K, I think people, that keeps people off of his tag. But I mean, man, he just put up 49 against the Pelicans. So, I mean, the guy can definitely get it done. I have a little bit of interest in him and Keldon Johnson, who I think will be very low owned. And he randomly pops, he's a guy that can randomly get it done with who's out? Lonnie Walker out. Maybe Trey Jones, maybe a little bit of interest in Trey Jones off the bench there. But again, it's a slate where we have so much value. I don't know if we need to go there, but these Hornets play at such a fast pace, even with LaMelo out. They've been playing so fast, and they're not playing much defense. A guy like Trey Jones, 3.2K, could get it done. I'm going to be off of the Hornets side, though. One thing is we were all on them, and it was the nut situation. Now they're getting guys back. Their price is adjusted up, and they haven't adjusted back down. While there's other spots on this slate that now are much better, and their prices haven't adjusted yet. So we just want to make sure that we're leveraging that and we're locking in these really elite values. And the Hornets, it's going to take a lot for them to beat us. And then the other thing is Rozier could go off. There could be Hayward, probably not, but it could be. It could be Miles Bridges. It could be Kelly Oubre. It could be any of these guys. I don't want to play the guessing game. I'm going to be off the Hornets here at elevated price tags.
Yep, I think that makes sense. Just a really tournament game. Sounds like you guys like the San Antonio side more so than the Hornets side. Let's get into the next game. We still got 4 games left. News is in these last 4 games for sure. I mean, this game locks at 9 p.m. Eastern. One of the bigger pieces of news on the slate: Minnesota Timberwolves, Denver Nuggets. D'Angelo Russell is questionable. The Nuggets are favored by 4.5, 223.5 total. Not much needs to be said over here from me. Jokic is by far the top raw points spent on the slate. I think ownership reflects that. But I'm not the master, the expert on one of these teams. We got DC over there, the Timberwolves. D. Russ, if he's out, is it Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns? If he's in, is it a stay away? What are you seeing in this game?
Yeah, I don't trust the Wolves particularly right now, not playing well. I do expect Russell to play in this game as well. He missed a couple with the ankle injury, then played in the last one, played okay. So, yeah, I'd expect him to be back out there, frankly. And if that's the case, I don't really want any Timberwolves in this game. I expect Denver to kind of control the game through Jokic like they do every single game. Jokic is just such a lock, right? To go off and have a big game. I don't know why this would be any different. I know Barton and Barton's back, but whatever. It's the Jokic show, and you can afford him with all the value, and you can't really go wrong. You can start your builds with Jokic and figure it out from there. Probably going to put up 65 plus fantasy points once again tonight. So that's pretty much it. A lot of Jokic and not a lot else for me in this one.
That's how I'm seeing it too. AP 3 for 3 kind of Jokic and a fade, or what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Nikola Jokic. this guy is just incredible. Like when you watch these games, and I hate it because the Nuggets are blacked out for me. It's ridiculous. So I always have to like use and I have league pass and everything. It's still blacked out. So I
don't say much more than that. Don't say much.
Yeah. I won't say anything more than that. I go to a bar and we watch it. We find the game. That's there's a Nugget bar here in town. But I mean, watching this guy is just incredible. I mean, he had 72. I think I was talking to Captain, and it was that morning, and like he didn't realize he got ejected with 6 minutes left. So like
Crazy.
Jokic left a ton on the table. I mean, 80, and we all had him. And here's the other thing I will say is the projection sites. I think we've done a good job at this, but where's prices at? The projection is not high enough. And so your people that are just relying solely on the projections in 150 maxing, they're not going to get Jokic to hit their builds at all. Like I'm seeing projections on him under 60. Okay. RPS, I'll tell it. We're at 65.4. That's probably 8 points higher than your average of the industry. But I think it's correct. I mean, I think under 60 is incorrect. Because you want, like, I'm going to raise it to about 70 just because I want to see what it does. I don't even think at 70 at 12.2K, he hits all of my builds, all 150. And so it's just something to be mindful of when using the optimizers and using SaberSim to all of our members out there that use it. Bump him up, get him in there. He's a lock. He's not a lock, but I mean, he's a very, very, very strong play. If you look at the heat map, I have the game as a fade, except for Jokic. I have him as a 4 play. That's how I think you play it.
I think. Cool. What was he on Monday? I think he was like 13% owned or something. Just
it was too low. Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but if I recall correctly, it was very, very low. Like people just don't want to. I mean, you see the 12-2 price tag. Maybe that's influencing people because we don't really see many players eclipse that number, but man, just absolutely crushing it right now.
Yeah, it definitely. He has one of those. Him and Giannis, I think, have a ceiling of their own right now, is how it seems for sure. Giannis isn't on the slate. Jokic is, very, very strong play. 3 for 3. Jokic and kind of a fade for the rest of us. AP, it sounds like our boy Jordan. He's in Discord. If you need help with blackout games, he can assist you there. Sam, she says she is in the 555 tonight. Good stuff, Sam. Good stuff, AP. Good luck tonight. We'll be cheering you on in Discord. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. Let's get 40 more likes to 300. We can do that today. Not going to keep the plays of the day from you or anything, but hit the like. We appreciate it. Washington Wizards, Sacramento Kings. This game locks at 10 p.m. Eastern. Washington is favored by 225.5 total. Kyle Kuzma was questionable, but I saw he got cleared from health protocols. I'm expecting he plays. Rashawn Holmes is doubtful, and Marvin Bagley was ruled out for health and safety protocols shortly before we came on here. So I don't know. I mean, Alex Len at 3-2. Like, do we need to go there on today's slate? He'll get some minutes. There's Montrezl Harrell, 5.1K. I think that's a solid price tag. Even Kuzma himself, 5'9", I think is interesting. Dinwiddie, wow, he has been awful this year. 5.5K is not something I expected to see on Spencer Dinwiddie. DC, I'll go to you. I think this game could be pretty good, a solid total, but nothing's just sticking out to me. What's sticking out to you?
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, I never play the Kings guys, just a team in turmoil.
I thought De'Aaron Fox was your favorite player.
No,
to roster.
Not quite. I'll probably stick mostly there once again. I mean, even a couple of nights ago, we were talking, and I was just like, I'll take my chances on a Harrison Barnes fade, right? Like, I just don't trust this team. What did he get, 11 fantasy points? Alex Len, I mean, we've all played NBA DFS long enough to fall for the Alex Len is starting trap more times than I can count over the last 6 or 7 years.
Hey, this time without Holmes and Bagley, though, like I had to say it, but I had to mention it at least.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not. I mean,
I know what you're saying.
I get it, but it just doesn't work out very often.
And he's just center, which there's Jokic, there could be Drummond. Like center you need to get center right today.
Yeah, I just don't trust the Kings. I don't trust their rotation. And even though they're down guys, I just feel better about other spots I can find. I'll take Yurt 7 from Miami over Alex Len, right? I'll roll the dice there. I don't know. Don't be the guy that's trying to bet me on it straight up.
I won't do that. I won't. Hey, after Lance Lynn.
Yeah.
After Lynn Berry, Corbin Burns, I think I got to retire on top there, especially how the year played out.
go out on top on that one. But no, I don't know. I mean, Montrezl Harrell against Alex Len and Tristan Thompson and me too. I mean, you can see it. He's been slumping recently, so maybe a contrarian play there, but I'm not getting sucked into this quote unquote value from Sacramento. No thanks for me.
Makes sense. Drew said in chat, I think the rotations are any different without their head coach. I mean, I don't even think you really try and guess that. Like you're trying to galaxy brain stuff. We don't even know
what their rotations are anyway. So
yeah. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't really have an answer there. AP, Sacramento Kings, Washington Wizards. People are throwing out names in chat. There's Gafford. There's Kuzma. Gentry is a coach that always galaxy brains it. He likes to just out coach himself out there on the court. So I think Ibaka, I do think I do think it matters a little bit. I do think we see more of a traditional rotation unless he's instilled his beliefs on whoever's the interim coach tonight. But I think Chimezie Metu is one of the stronger values on the slate. We've seen him in this role, and it's always this first game. It's always this first game where people are hesitant to play him in this spot, and then he smashes. Like that's what he does, and it's the nut matchup. I think bigs continue to crush this Wizards team. I was just going to pull it up real quick, but I mean, go ahead, DC.
I never play the Kings, so I never watched the Kings. Can Metu play the 5? Can he hang? Will they?
Yeah, he can play small ball 5.
Yeah,
he
can play small ball 5. He's one
I
of
figured,
their go-to guys. Yeah. Your 4 and 5s have just been crushing this Wizards team. So he's the guy of interest in. Harrison Ball, I don't understand it, man. This was a guy. Maybe it was just Luke Walton just loved him, because he would play him 39, 40 minutes, and he's just been terrible. So I think what you do is I mean, it should be a good game environment. The Kings have been playing really fast, but the Wizards have been absolute dust. Dinwiddie has been hurtful. He finally got it going late in the fourth, late in the fourth, after him and Jokic got into it. If you think he carries any of that into this game, he's fine. But it's a different role. You have Dinwiddie, you have Bradley Beal, and then Kyle Kuzma back. So I think I would have some interest in Kyle Kuzma. But Metu is the guy I like on the Kings side. And then I don't mind Davion Mitchell. I think 3.6K, he's really kind of cemented himself, a position there. His defense is good. I think they might need it. And if his shot is going down, he's a guy that can be somewhat productive fantasy-wise.
I like that.
Yep, good breakdowns. Last thing, I got it. Before I go on the next game, Michael and Chad DC, he brought up a good point. Alex Len revenge game. Can that sway can that sway you or no?
I'm gonna hold strong on the Alex Len fade. You'll feel all right.
Had to ask again. Appreciate
How many teams has he played for?
Decent amount, that's for sure. I remember
Everyone
was Hawks, Washington.
Suns, Hawks, Kings, Raptors, Wizards, and then now Kings again.
Every team has them for 1 year, and they're like, "No, this is not the answer."
I think that's DC. I do not think you'll be seeing Alex Len at DC's lineups today, but hey, appreciate Michael. Revenge game. Had to get a laugh out of DC and Alex Len one more time. Appreciate that. Going into the next game, we got 2 games left. Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trailblazers. Memphis is favored by 2.5, 218 total. CJ McCollum's still out. Cody Zeller's still out. On this Memphis side, Brandon Clark, John Morant's obviously still out for a while. I think this game's interesting. The total's pretty solid. Damian Lillard, Portland's on a back-to-back. Dame had a pretty good game yesterday. There's Dylan Brooks. There's Jaren Jackson. I don't know. AP, I'm going to go to you. I think there's some pieces we gotta look at. There's some injury news. Paul George is questionable in this last game. So if you want to just fully backload it to have some roster construction, D'Angelo Russell's also questionable. So having pieces and backloading your rosters could get you differently and work out well. Anybody in this game you're looking at?
It's been incredible how many games this Grizzlies team has been how many massive blowouts. The one against OKC, we all remember 70 some points. They just almost repeated that against Philly, I think, the other night. Didn't they win by like 40 or 50 points? I mean, it was massive, I'm pretty sure. So if you're looking at box scores, just keep that in mind. Another great environment. I think Dylan Brooks, I think Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson are three guys firmly in play. I think you may even make a case for Tyus Jones, but I do think he's appropriately priced for his style of play. He's a game manager type point guard, distributor first, score second. And he has good scoring options with Bane, Brooks, and Jaren Jackson. So I think you can play it with any of those three. I think are very fine. Going to be a great matchup. Really tough here. Dame is starting to play good. He's starting to, be that old Dame. I think for me, he's going to be in play in tournaments if you're multi-entering. But I don't see him being a core play potentially at 9-9. But I do like this role. Like no CJ in there, CJ McCollum in there. We got this interesting role, but the thing to look out for is like Simons. I like what they're doing, and I think they're getting ready to ship CJ McCollum. I know there's big trade talks going down. Ben Simmons is involved, but just look at this rotation. I think it's really telling. They're bringing Anthony Simons, if I can talk, in. And then he's closing games. So he's playing almost starter-like minutes, but he's not starting. Kind of like that Tyler Hero type role. So a 5.4K, I do think he's in play tournament-wise. Larry Nance, I'm probably going to move off of tonight. He had one of the most efficient games that we've seen last night. And despite how good and efficient he was, he didn't close. Like he was not on the floor at the end of the game. And I believe it went into OT. As well, and I don't think he played any OT, so I'm going to be off of him. So it's Dame, maybe a little bit of Norman Powell, but Simons, and then maybe you guys can talk me into Nurkic. I mean, the matchup against another slow-footed, Steven Adams has to be somewhat interesting.
Nurkic is 5'9" on FanDuel. He's 7'8" on DraftKings. So I think he's an easier play on FanDuel for sure. You only get to play one center over there, so you can't play Jokic. Maybe little ownership discount, little price discount too. I think he makes sense there. 7-8, I think would be a little tough for me though. DC, talk about this game. AP touched on a little bit, but Noel fan said Nance too expensive now or still in play. Talk about Nance too.
Yeah, I think Nance is a fine play. I think I'll find better value. I mean, Dame, I was on him last night. I can't go back to Dame tonight, not coming off a 47-minute overtime game. This is his third game in 4 nights after missing, 2 weeks with that injury. And they were saying yesterday on the broadcast that it's an injury that Damian Lillard is just going to have to manage and play through all year. So he's not even 100% healthy. And now he's got third game, 4 nights, second night of back-to-back, just played 47 minutes. And he still hasn't been shooting well, right? I mean, 11 for 31 yesterday, 5 for 17 the day before, 2 good fantasy games, but that was the big problem before he went on the injury list, was that he can't hit a shot this year. He's shooting 39% from the field and less than 30% from 3. And that's continued in the 2 games he's gone back. So I know that the results have been there, but Dame, I think, is going to mostly continue to be a fake for me, perhaps, until he can kind of start hitting shots at a higher rate. So if he's out, Dame, and I know he's not on the injury report, but listen, you can't convince me that really even matters anymore. Players just sit out of nowhere all the time, right? It just doesn't. If I think a player might sit, I'm sticking by it. I don't care if they're on the injury report or not. If he's out, then yeah, Simons and then also Dennis Smith Jr. I think would become back in play at that point. I'm not building around that possibility, but got to monitor the news all the way to the end. And if it does break that way, those would be the guys, Smith Jr., Simons, and maybe some Nurkic that I would go to from Portland. And then Powell, too, I think would be interesting. But, again, just speculation on Dame there for me.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, this game is definitely interesting. D-Russ news an hour before, and then we have Paul George news, the last game of the slate we'll get to. Let's get 10 more likes, too, when we're breaking it down. I don't think it's going to take too long. Sitting at 290 likes, though. But last game of the night, locks at 10 p.m. Eastern, the Clippers and the Jazz. Jazz are favored by 9.5, 218 total. Paul George is questionable. He's missed the last couple games. Nicholas Batum questionable. DC, I'm going to go back to you. What does this Paul George news do for you? If he's out, if he's in, and then anybody on this Utah side?
If he's in my opinion, the entire Clippers team becomes a very easy fade, frankly, where I can't really see a situation where I'd have any Clippers on my team. If he's out, Listen, you want to go to 6.8K Reggie Jackson against Utah in Utah? Like, I don't really want to do that. Man's price is up a little bit, 5,300. Seems like they're kind of phasing Bledsoe out. So, even if George sits in Utah, potential blowout, last game of the night, I'm not saving spots for Clippers and the Jazz. So I don't see myself likely to go here. Donovan Mitchell's been great, but priced appropriately, right? 9,100. I don't know how much meat on the bone and room for value is there for him to crush that price tag even as well as he's been playing. So not a lot in this game for me.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, 9-1 on DraftKings for Mitchell, 8-1 on FanDuel. So I think that price is a little better over there. I'm probably not going to wait for the news really either. We have 11 games. The 2 games are like at 10 p.m. Eastern. I think there's better spots. I think it's kind of a full fade. Again, if Paul George is out, then I'd have a little interest, but is it worth risking your whole lineups for that news on a slate like this? I'm leaning no personally. AP, what is your plan of attack with this Paul George questionable news in the last game? Are you going to save spots for it? Do you have any interest in it if he's in or just if he's out?
Yeah, I mean, I just do not play players against this Jazz team when they're playing in Utah. I mean, it just – man, even though like the Clippers have at times played well without him, I don't want to take the risk. We saw it with Ayton last night. If you're waiting around for the news, he ended up playing in the last 2 games. He ended up sitting when he was questionable. If you're waiting around for Paul George to get ruled out, same scenario. There's a chance that he could definitely play tonight. They need him tonight against this Jazz team. I'm not gonna take on that risk. So for me, I think this game is an easier fade on the slate. So I will not be sweating it out at 10 o'clock tonight.
I like it. 3 for 3, kind of a fade there. We went through all 11 games. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. We talked about a couple games that are just full cross-offs, a couple games that we like. News is going to continue to break. The Up to Lock show is going to be very important. Saber 15 gets you 15% off. You guys absolutely smash the like buttons. Over 300. We appreciate it very much. I think it's time for the plays of the day, though, what the people have been waiting for. AP, going to go over to you first, the gentleman's call of the day. Who do you got for us today?
Yeah, there's a few options. I think I'm going to I think what I want to do, I don't have my core built out or anything like that yet, but I'm pretty confident I'm going to play this value. I love the matchup. Mentioned them here not too long ago, but Chimezie Metu, 3.8K. I don't think the minutes really matter if you're looking at past games. It's just Marvin Bagley played a huge role the last 2 games. That's a lot of minutes that someone is going to need to play. And I don't think that's going to be Alex Len or Tristan Thompson. So I think Metu is going to get a lot of those minutes. I think he's going to play right around 26 to 28 minutes tonight. And we know he's a good producer. So he's going to be my value call of the day.
At 2, AP's gentleman's call of the day. Like it for sure. A lot of people in chat were talking about him too. So I think that'll be a popular one. Not ownership wise, popular one that people agree with in chat, but I think he'll be low owned. I like the call for sure. I'll go to myself for the SO play of the day. Definitely was tough for me today with so many options, but I want to give a really low owned one. I'm going to go Kyle Kuzma at 5.9K. I don't think anyone plays Kyle Kuzma. He got cleared for health and safety, so I'm expecting him to play. 5.9K for someone that's showing 50-plus point upside. He likes to chuck the ball. I think there's a lot of upside at low ownership for him. So good game environment. Kyle Kuzma as the SO play of the day. DC, Mom's Basement play of the day. Bring us home.
Yeah, I'll play a little narrative street. Did it last night as well.
Alex Len, narrative.
No, Alex, just missed the cut. If I could choose 2, it would. But I'm going to Kyle Lowry. I think he's going to have to put this Miami Heat team on his back a little bit. I like his matchup against those guards from Miami. Guys, Maxey and Milton and Seth Curry if he plays. I think Kyle Lowry's got a very good chance to go off back at home. Big minutes, and he's still got it in him. So Kyle Lowry going to turn back the clock a little bit with a big game tonight in Philly.
Lowry, Metu, Kuzma, the 3 plays of the day. Thank you all for hanging out with us. What's Frank, Drew Carpenter, Anchor, Coach, Slick Derulo, Brian, Sam, Tyron. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was fun. Fun day. AP, shout out to you again for giving away the ticket. Awesome mojo. Sam, congrats. I'm already expecting a win over there. Good luck to you tonight. Hoping you get to the top of the leaderboards. We'll be sweating it out in Discord. Up to Lock Show is going to be very important today. JSU Holden, Saber 15 gets you 15% off to see that. If you haven't checked out Saber Sim, I don't know what you're doing yet. Get in Discord. It's the best thing in the industry. There's a lot of fun. Time's rolling down, though. That's going to do it for us. For DC, AP, Simon Behind the Sticks, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.
What's happening, everyone? Allie here with Run Pure Sports to shout out our hosts who had great calls last week and our members who are coming off a huge week where they shipped over $1.2 million in prizes. Congrats to our very own Bobby who landed a ticket to the DraftKings Live NFL Final in Miami.
He called it a touchdown! Woo!
Touchdown, Ayuk!
Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go!
Bobby made a huge call on 2% owned running back Rashad Penny, who ended up with a slate-breaking score of over 29 fantasy points on DraftKings. Penny also landed on Run Pure Sports member the Man 11's 100K winning lineup on FanDuel, continuing the trend of six-figure hits for RPS members. On our Sunday morning Wood Show, Hoop body bagged everyone with his Hunter Renfrow call. Congrats to him for sticking to his guns with his rich parents play of the day while everyone else made fun of him. Renfrow went on to have a monster 30-point day for the Hoopster.
At this one with my boy Renfrow, I just cannot wait. Cannot wait. And this could be it because I'm feeling good about it. Where he gets that 30 piece, I can just.
So how many weeks does it count for, like 3 seasons?
How many guys in the NFL go for 30? Like, there's not many guys.
And he's not going to be one of them, I'll tell you that, Hoop. But you'll get
He finally jumped in. Thank you.
He flipped on me.
Big T continued the good mojo Sunday night with his call to start Jakeem Grant in Sunday night's Showdown slate.
The guy that's going to win the slate, I'm always good when I pop in at the last second like this, is Jakeem Grant. Mark my words.
Grant went on to have 2 touchdowns, shipping Big T first in Yahoo's single game tournament. Run Pure Sports member Anger Tornado joined Big T on the Jakeem Grant play to bank a first-place finish in the DraftKings Showdown tournament, taking home over $13,000. Also, big congrats to Run Pure Sports member Swint, who took home $20K in MMA. Bad Lab joined our free MMA show the day of the event to lay out all of the best plays. Our guests have been killing it lately, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our free shows. If you are not already a Run Pure Sports member, now is the best time to join. We partnered with SaberSim to offer a huge package deal where you can get access to all of Run Pure Sports content, along with SaberSim's industry-leading optimizer and projection system. All you have to do is simply use promo code SABER15. This will knock 15% off our already low combo price for the life of the subscription and save you even more money. That comes out to be just under $130 a month for the RPS and SaberSim combo. Or you can add in our bet side and bump it to just $140 a month. That's an incredible value, which would normally cost $190 a month with separate subscriptions. But act now because this deal expires on Thursday. So what are you waiting for? Join today and let's run pure.